I wish this hat would adapt to the shit. I love his hat. All right.
Rainey's first.
Rainey's first?
I'm betting.
Oh, yeah, he's always first. He posted a picture of his daughter today. It was a nice picture. Dude, one of our listeners, Rainey, I'm friends with on Facebook. His name's Rainey Lopez.
Hello. You know what? I'm not coming in really good.
Man, I can hear you.
But me, I like to hear my fucking big mouth, too.
How's that?
Okay, yeah.
And my level's up at all down good? You hearing it? Okay.
What the F?
Wooter. Wooter was first.
Wooter?
Wooter big deep.
Hello, Wooter.
Hello, Father.
I got to drive in a Halloween parade Monday.
Do you?
Yes. I've never driven in a parade ever. I assume it'll be easy, but apparently last year some kid was going to get the candy, ran out and got his foot run over by one of the cars.
That can't kill him.
No, Mom tried to suicide, so now you can't throw candy out.
You can't
At
throw
the
candy
Halloween
out?
parade.
You're fucking crazy, man.
No,
That's
no.
fucking part of my fucking whole enjoyment.
Right.
What do I care about some political sign going down the road about who wants to be the next fucking guy that digs someone up? Or, what are they called?
Yeah.
Corners?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
what do I care about
tried
a
to-
fucking
they
corner
put the
in the
re-election
parade?
date in the fucking parade.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, I'm supposed to be happy seeing a fucking guy sitting on top
Well, you
of a
were
truck.
happy when he was throwing candy
When
to
it was
you.
candy, yeah, I go, hey, there's a corner throwing us candy. Fuck yeah, I'll vote for you.
But then now you got to walk out and hand candy or drop it directly into their bag.
Oh man!
So
The
now,
whole
so
fun
now
was
there's going to be an army
catching
of
it.
kids that are in the parade running back and forth, getting
Yeah.
in next to the vehicle,
Stampeding
constantly
each
just
other.
as dangerous. So what's the big problem here? Let's throw candy. That's the fun. Let's get a candy cannon. Let's just shoot massive wads of candy.
Like
over the
those
whole
T-shirt
crowd.
fucking cannons.
You,
they
you
shoot at
can't
the
do
fucking
that
bars and
either.
stuff.
Tossing would be the same as fucking shooting.
I don't know. I think shooting's got that extra America in it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, you're right about that. Go to him. Go to him. I don't want to deprive that big man.
Terry Wardrobe, hello, hello.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Let's jack it down a little.
Hello. It is us. We are back.
Guten Tag.
We are back. Yeah.
It's like one of them off than the other because I'm sitting still there.
Yeah. So that's real time.
No, this is real time.
Oh, that's real time.
And this is the feed.
And that's the feed.
Well, it's almost real time. Watch me.
Is it the 300 millisecond delay?
No, it's about 1 second on the left and about 30 seconds on the right.
I got
30
you.
seconds? That's
So
a pretty long
what
delay.
we're saying, the
That's
chat
YouTube
won't see
related.
for 30. They won't see what this conversation for 30 seconds or 30
Okay.
seconds behind.
All right,
Do you have like this cancel button where you can block the bad words like on the radio?
Nope. We wouldn't use it anyway.
Fuck no. That's not what we're about.
No.
Check one. Okay, that sounds fine.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay.
Where's the feed?
Matter of fact, if this was
Chicken
gym
feed?
class, Alex, the gym instructor, the guy would say, "Drop and give me 15 for that one."
Yeah, right.
Wooter, you're not seeing double. We've got two guests today.
Yes, we do.
We'll go into who exactly these two gentlemen are. If you don't recognize Alex, that's because you haven't been watching the show long enough.
Yeah, maybe, 6 months longer?
It's been a while since
Yeah.
you've been on.
It's been a while. Alex
Could've
was
been.
even on Nick of Time episodes back when it was Nick of
Oh,
Time.
yeah, that's right, Nick of Time. I also was on the Too Heavy to Skydive podcast back when we were doing that over the Riverbender building.
Yep.
Little known fact, Alex actually helped come up with the name
Did he?
Surreal Talk.
I thought my wife made that up.
No, it was
Well,
just through
my
text
wife
We
said
messages.
it.
we
Are you
used
sure?
to work together at a different company, and he'd come up and say, "Hey, I'm trying to think of something for
Yeah,
a
that
name
was
of
the same
conspiracy
day.
but
the same
I don't
day
know.
coming up with Surreal Talk, Surreal Talk.
no, I don't know if I came up with it, but we brainstormed back and forth for 3
That
days
was
with
one of
different
the
names
things
we were texting each other.
That was one of the things that we said though, and I thought you said that.
I don't know who said it. I don't really care.
Maybe I
you
said
know
it
what, I
'cause
think
Everett
I think it
texted
was
me.
Big E.
Everett
Big
did.
E,
He
yeah.
think it
probably
was
texted
Everett.
it to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, what about this?
Oh, I probably texted Everett
And then-
20
I know I
names.
didn't come up with it.
Huh?
I didn't come up with my. April did.
April to April. Yeah.
It's okay. It's worked out. Got quiet.
Yes, it did. It's
And
It's
Johnny
Halloween.
O.
Jono.
Jono. I'm sorry. Well, we just met a few minutes ago.
It's you know what? I like to go by that Ochoman.
The Ochoman.
Yeah, because that's my show. So why not just keep saying Ochoman?
Ochoman, I'm with it.
Or just Ocho?
We got time. I'll update the.
Yeah, just do that real quick. And
Yeah,
then
we
we'll
don't
go
need
like April
Jono.
Eyes.
I said it. All right, April, I concede.
It's funny.
Maybe it's just great minds think alike.
That's probably what it was.
Know.
Yeah, it was same wavelengths.
I was more like the Vanilla Ice in this one. Wait, who is
Too
the
cold.
No, who was the singer of the original? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Pressure.
pressure
Yeah.
coming down on you.
Yeah, that was Queen. And then
Touch
Vanilla,
my
how much did he pay for that?
He ended up getting sued for it because
I know.
he still to this day claims it's slightly different. There was one little extra beat on it that made it.
Oh,
different.
that's all yours. That's all yours. Definitely it was yours.
Yeah, he's a.
He could be another person that claims to have made the name Surreal Talk.
Oh, that's a conspiracy all in its own right
I will
there.
sue you, Rob Van
Next
Winkle.
week on Surreal
Rob
Talk.
Vanilla Ice's real name is Rob Van
Is
Winkle.
that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
No wonder he called himself Vanilla Ice.
All right, I got a new freaking overlay made. Just gotta get it on there.
Updating.
For John Ocho.
Ocho.
Ocho, man.
Yeah. Or just
Ocho
Ocho.
Man.
That's what the guys call me. So
Just Ocho?
Well-
Yeah, I'll just put Ocho.
yeah, just Ocho's good.
We
No,
can
I
call
made
him
that
There you go,
Spanish
bro.
number 8.
Nope, good. All right. Go U-turn over there.
Yeah,
Or-
I got you.
We're all getting into vaping.
Yeah, we're all
We're trying vaping.
I was trying, but
my first
it just
day vaping.
doesn't do it for me. I gotta have a cigarette. You know what I mean? I was vaping for probably 6 months until I wrecked my damn motorcycle back in May. Broke my arm and sprained my other wrist, so I couldn't push the button on the e-cigarette no more. My wife was lighting me cigarettes, so I was laid up. I started smoking again. I wish I'd never. had
They're a lot more satisfying
What,
a cigarette than an e-cig. Yeah.
Oh, and the
I mean, I
fact that it
suppose
makes
if
you
you
look
had to, they
so
would-
much cooler.
Oh yeah,
You know what
vaping's
I mean?
just cool as shit. But yeah, I don't know. Smoking sucks. I mean,
No, if I'm
I
standing
hate
outside
it.
a building with a cigarette in my hand, I know I'm the coolest looking guy around.
I can't smoke cigarettes, man.
It's good.
they're
I
good.
start coughing up a storm and everything.
They ruined my life. Like my car stinks. My hands smell.
Right.
My teeth get stained. I mean, they're terrible. I wish I never did it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't do it.
yeah, smoking
But I could
cigarettes is
smoke
rough.
the hell
Never
out of
used to
weed.
smoke
And nothing
cigarettes.
happens to me there.
Yeah, but
nothing?
your teeth
Yeah.
don't turn yellow from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you smoke enough of it, they probably would.
I guess so.
We were talking earlier today. Oh yeah, you were there. Well, how much could you actually smoke in one sitting?
Oh, we were
without-
wondering about a world record.
Yeah, without eating or sleeping. Like you can drink a couple, water or
You
whatever.
mean cigarettes or weed?
Weed.
Yeah,
How much weed
could you smoke
just-
before you're just too done and you got to eat or sleep?
Wow, that's
Well, then
What's the max?
really,
for me, it's the breathing part. I'm gonna be so fucking
Yeah, your
coughing so
lungs-
much from
yeah.
smoking.
I mean, let's say you get a 5-minute break every hour.
you just keep hitting until your brain's
Well,
short
you
of
don't gotta
oxygen.
do it
you
like
pass
that, but
out,
you
wake
know.
back up, and do it again.
Now, you know when I stop? When I start laughing and I have no idea why the fuck I'm laughing.
No shit.
That-
Right?
You just laugh at the most stupidest thing you've got on late night TV. And you go, it's time. I got to stop right
I'm
there.
done. Yeah, we used to call those the freshman giggles because you got so high just like back when you were a freshman.
You're right, right.
I remember getting several kids high for their first time, and they turned it almost like comatose laughing victims.
Yeah, he wants to say they were above age and all that.
Well, I was only 15. At the
Alex was a
time,
kid.
you know
Let's
what I
be
mean?
clear.
Yeah,
Alex doesn't
Alex
just
was a
go
kid,
and give
too.
drugs to children. That's not what's going on.
Damn.
There it is.
All
I
right,
sees it
beautiful.
now. Ocho. All right.
I like it.
Which is Russian for nightmare.
Russian.
Really?
I mean,
And Spanish for 8.
Yeah, I thought it was Spanish for nightmare.
No, just Russian.
Ocho Nueve.
There's a whole story behind why the Russians
No
feared
chase.
Jono, but they made the word Ocho mean nightmare in his honor.
Oh.
No.
The things
You
he's
know,
done.
that
I've
I,
ever told me you speak 3 languages.
well, I got Armenian, Turkish, and this one.
Wow. So what's the hardest? What was the hardest? What was your first language? Obviously.
You know what I would have to say. I actually even knew French, and I just wore. I knew French, I knew Arabic, and they all went to hell. Yeah.
No shit.
But now it's like 3, and probably the toughest now is Turkish because I was speaking Turkish and understanding it because I'm Armenian. We got to know our enemy's language, I guess you might say. And my grandparents and my mom and dad, both, all of them spoke it, so I understood it. And then I listened to it on their internet, their Facebook and all that, and I pick it all up.
So I've heard that English is the hardest language to actually learn.
Well, who the fuck names 2 T-O-T-O-O T-O-O? I mean, fucking make it 1 2, and use it any way you want to use it.
There, and there.
Yeah, there.
You know, because you got THEIR for his possession.
Oh,
of
yeah.
their
Exactly.
contents,
Then
and
poop,
over
shit, and crap.
there, which
And
is
then you got the
THERE.
Y with the R-E.
Yeah, what they are. Yeah. That's a tricky one, man.
I mean, it's
What
all...
does Turkish sound like? I don't even.
All right. Sen geldin.
Okay.
Çok iyiyim. Or, yeah, it's
Right.
something like...
And to me,
I said, you came today, you look well, and you made me happy.
right. Okay.
That's what I
Right
said.
on.
I mean, but not ever speaking any other language. I hear somebody talking like Turkish, and I think that has no meaning whatsoever.
Yeah,
to me.
so
It's
here,
just
how about this?
complete
Like, if you have-
sounds that shouldn't go together just because I'm trained in the
Right,
one
sounds like
language.
gibberish.
Right.
So if you haven't spoken any of that in 3 or 6 months, you're at a party and you hear that, can you just pick that out and it
Well-
automatically registers in your brain as what it means, not in English?
Okay, if I start...
Or do you like mini translate?
well, no, I'll break it down real easy. If you hear Back in Black,
Okay.
and you haven't heard that in 6-7 months on the radio, you still know
Fair enough.
the words
Oh,
that
okay.
pop up in Back in Black,
Right.
and or Shook Me All Night Long. You know that stuff, and you haven't heard this since the last wedding you were at.
Right.
So now you're hearing it, and you're like, Back in Black. It's, I mean, it's all there.
Right,
It's
right.
all there. So
I just don't know any other languages. So you never have to like auto translate it. Auto just comes in.
I think at first, and that would be same comparison to music because you're hearing the beat, you're hearing the structure of what's coming at you, and you're intaking. So it's almost, it's identical.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I always thought that was like fascinating to me. Not that learning multiple languages is something that's a lot of people don't do, but I don't know multiple languages, and I think it's cool.
It seems really hard.
Well,
like
yeah,
almost like playing a guitar or something.
Well,
I can't do
they
it.
just
you know,
got
it
questions
seems
like
difficult.
how do blind people dream? Do they? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
but that's
Wow.
I don't know.
Oh, dude, that was heavy.
Well, you were right. I mean,
Yes,
if you're-
yes,
if
I
you're-
thought about that.
Think about it. If you were blind from the time you were born, and I don't mean any offense to anyone, but if you're blind from the time you were born, do you know
How do they
how to
picture
make those-
running through a forest and all that?
I don't know, man.
I mean, words
don't
do
know.
help with a lot of description, but then when they say purple, they probably have no clue what purple could even.
Their purple could be our red,
Right.
and that's just the way it goes.
And
No,
they would
everyone's got an
always know
opinion.
that.
Did you ever see the movie Mask? With
Yes,
Jim
I did.
Carrey?
Yeah.
no,
Rocky
with
Dennis?
with Rocky Dennis, and the way he
No.
explained colors to that girl who was blind since birth.
And wasn't that Cher?
Yeah,
Cher was
Cher
in it.
was
in
in
there,
it.
too.
What did he say? I forget.
But it's just the way he described, like, she had no clue what blue means because they don't know what shades are, what's light, what's bright, what's dark.
Yeah.
So he used, like, a hot rock to simulate red, some cotton to simulate, like, billowy white. You know,
Really?
just ways to think of it and associate it that she can understand.
Huh. So texture, basically, through feel.
Kind of. Texture, temperature.
Rodney Greenway says, even better, why are there drive-up ATM machines with Braille? Like, how is he driving up to this ATM machine?
That's a good question.
That's very good. Oh man, you
I've
better
always
you
wondered
better
that.
take us live real quick, man.
All right, yeah, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Why is he driving?
Right? If you gotta have fucking.
How do you know to stop there?
That's awesome.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think you know the whole story? Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal, a lineupmedia.fm production, and we are back. We are back this week, just as we are every week, with the exception of last week. So
We are back again every time.
yeah, every time. So Everett and Eric, you know, and as you can see, we have two guests with us. The infamous Alex. He hasn't been on in forever. Beloved guest of the show.
We'd have to look it up, but I think it's been close to a year since Alex has been on.
Really?
Wow. Well,
It's been
thanks
that
for
long.
letting me back.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it
of
was
course.
never us.
Yeah, we
back
invited you
whenever you
multiple
wanted.
times. We love you.
Yeah.
And then also we have Ocho. We have Ochoman here from Behind the 8 Ball Ocho podcast. Can you tell everybody about yourself, Ocho?
Man, before I get to that, it was great having you on my show too.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun. That was great. Ocho's show is all kinds of fun. He doesn't stick to parameters like we do here at Surreal Talk with topics. He does all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, that was a lot
Yeah,
of
that show is
fun.
actually available on our regular podcast feed. If you wanted to hear that show, just look on your podcast feed and you can find it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Ocho Man Behind the 8 Ball. And I'm very happy to be here, by the way.
Right, we're happy to have you.
This is the kind of shit that everyone should listen to during Halloween.
Right.
Sometime late night, early morning, but with like people wrapped around the fireplace or something.
Here's a little interesting tidbit about the show. This show is actually a spinoff of Behind the 8 Ball.
Really?
So this show started, Nick of Time, was
Right.
a co-host on Behind the 8 Ball. And they'd always talk conspiracy stuff, and he was always the crazy guy on that show. And he spun off his own conspiracy show and, did that for 14-ish episodes, and then we took over. So technically, Surreal Talk, down the line, is a spinoff of Behind the 8 Ball.
Wow. Nice.
You guys
So thank
like
you.
the
Thanks.
grandfather.
Granddad Ocho, the cool grandpa that
no,
smokes
this
and drinks
show
with
is
you.
definitely cool though.
Thanks, man. We have a good time doing it.
For sure. For sure.
So last year also we kind of did not really a dual show, but we did hang out on Halloween. We visited a local ghost hotspot haunted area, the McPike Mansion up in Alton.
Yeah, that was part of our show too.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Behind the 8 Ball.
That was a
We
great
actually
show.
recorded some stuff. We never bothered to release it though. It just came out like
We
crap.
did video and audio, but it
Well,
was just
what
video, I
happened
forgot to
was
turn on
they
audio.
came up with real videos of the ghosts there, and the CIA bust in, took all the videos, and now they're not
Don't
allowed
tell
to
him that,
use
Alex. Fuck.
it again.
No, I forgot to turn on the sound on the camcorder for one. I killed all that.
Oh yeah.
That
Fucking Everett.
was a bummer.
I tell you what though, man, how beautiful was it?
It was a great time, man. The atmosphere was excellent for it. You know what I mean?
Did you guys actually hear or see anything though?
I don't think we did, but just
I
that
did.
you did too?
I did. I saw.
Oh,
nothing.
you didn't.
Yeah.
But just that whole lightning hitting it was raining bad. It was lightning everywhere. It had the perfect vibe though.
Yeah, the experience was excellent, regardless of whether we saw or heard anything paranormal.
If you want
out
to go to
there.
a spooky night to go to a house,
But
like
it
that,
was
that
cool.
it,
There was the whole. We did the basement with the seance, the lights off in this basement of this house. I mean, it was a really neat experience. It really was. It was cool.
I forgot we went through a whole seance.
Yeah, we did
Ocho
all
Man.
kinds of stuff.
Were you in on the seance as well?
He set it up.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had to see something. So.
So it was like the whole pentagram in a circle.
Oh, she didn't go that far. She was a
candles and-
medium. We had a real medium. She's
Right.
a working
Oh,
medium.
Yeah, yeah.
That was neat.
I've never been to anything like that. What kind of shit was she doing?
She
you know?
just
Well,
talked to him, basically.
She was
Yeah,
talking
and
to
she
the
said
ghosts.
there's a lot of ghosts around and stuff. So, I don't know if I believe it, but it was definitely a good vibe that you got away from everything from
a fun night.
outside the world.
Oh, so you kind of isolate yourself in this new
Wouldn't
little
you?
reality for a
Yeah,
while.
wouldn't you?
Well, I think you can accept ideas in that sort of situation that you wouldn't normally you'd pass off as not possible. But in that sort of situation with the crowd and the atmosphere, the gloomy, the stormy
The
night,
lights
you're
are
in a
off.
known haunted house.
No
the
billboards.
most famous haunted house in Alton. You know what I mean? And yeah, there's zero light. You're in a basement, dark. It's zero light, and maybe Maybe it's just the experience, but
You
it
get the
was.
skeevies.
I mean, it was
Yeah,
cool.
you did.
I'll tell you what. If that medium wasn't real, she definitely did some research because it's not that like
I don't know, man. That guy was. He told us the whole story. He did his whole little thing. Oh, there he is in the front door. You see him? And
Henry.
Henry. That was his name.
Everett. I remember Everett
How the
immediately.
hell did I remember that?
Everett immediately, the naysayer that he is, was like, that guy said it was 1864, and he said he's got glass in his whiskey. He couldn't make ice back then. He's got ice in his whiskey.
He said,
and
yeah,
he's
he
going
said he had ice in his whiskey. I mean, come on,
I'm
man.
like, God damn it, Everett.
You got to pick everything apart just because it's fun.
You say,
Right.
How did you know that?
Well, I mean, they had
fucking
ice
thought
houses
about it.
back then. Maybe they had somebody bring him a big block of ice and he had some. It's possible.
Well,
I
hell
guess,
yeah, they
but-
brought it down from up north and stored it all year. What's the problem?
Yeah,
That's what-
you didn't watch the
ice
Three
sellers.
They can their
Stooges?
snow at wintertime.
I watched Frozen. I know how they get the big blocks of ice from and bring them down from the mountain. But
Frozen, the Disney movie?
yeah, I have a daughter.
Okay.
I mean,
Wasn't,
you'll have
wasn't there one that the Argentine or some Peruvian, some South American team ate each other?
Oh,
they were
yeah,
in the
that was Alive. That was
the movie Alive. Yeah,
Alive,
it was
yeah.
Uruguay.
Oh, that's it.
rugby
Uruguay's
team.
team, yeah.
Uruguay rugby team.
How do you even have snow in fucking South America?
Oh, when you're up in the Andes, those mountains are pretty high.
Ah, that's true.
I tell you what, the eating people is about the scariest thing in the world to me. Like the inspiration for Moby Dick, there was these sailors that were sailing, they were running out of food, but there was islands with natives on them, and they were so scared that these natives were going to eat them, they wouldn't go to the island. Well, then half of them killed the other half and ate them.
Ate 'em anyway, huh?
And became cannibals themselves just so they wouldn't be eaten by cannibals. It was a pretty outrageous
Damn.
story.
Irony.
That wasn't in the movie.
No. The guy that wrote the book, Herman Melville, that was the inspiration he pulled for making Captain Ahab. Anyway,
Man, I tell you,
Wow.
that's got to be the
like
worst
that
feeling in the world. Like, where's the first part that you
Yeah.
go for? Here, we're
And-
talking about this
and who you
Halloween
p-
episode. Some
Have I
scary
killed
shit.
the person?
What's the first part you're gonna eat, fellas?
Leg calf.
Wait, before
calf?
you cut
calf
'em-
does seem nice.
who do you eat first?
Like if it was
Of the
us
dead
four
one.
on a boat, and when I had to pick one of you guys to kill and eat,
Could I just say, if I die, you could eat me?
that's
How
fine.
about that?
Right, don't kill me, but if I die, you can.
If
eat
I
me.
die,
I
you
think
guys
that's-
could have the
That's gonna
shit
be
out of
obvious
me.
because you're dead and we're hungry. So,
Oh,
permission
who
or
do we
not.
kill? Who do we kill? Is what you're thinking.
That's what I'm
Who's got
thinking.
the most tasty?
We're in
muscle?
our raft.
Well, it's gonna be me or Big E. I mean, you
Yeah,
guys are
you-
coming. Most likely, you're coming after me.
Right. Well, we're looking for meat, and you got more. We're gonna eat it.
Son of a bitch.
Well, Eric and I have the whole we're brothers thing going on. So
So yeah, you guys will be the last.
Does it
either
put
which
it?
way, one of you guys are going to want to team up with us because then we kill the other one and eat you, and then you're all alone with still the two brothers. So you guys are both fucked.
but we're
you
kind
got a
of
while,
waiting.
because we're eating the whole.
Yeah, I mean,
We're eating
we're
Ochoman
banking.
stuff.
We're banking on an island being found.
Maybe you are. I'm hungry. I'm not waiting.
I'll make me an Ocho burger right now
No,
with cheese.
it's just
Tourniquet.
as
Whose leg do we cut
disgusting
off?
as cannibalism is it take it to another level if it's incest
Another
cannibalism?
No, there's
That's
no
like
such
eating
stuff.
yourself.
Yeah,
Almost.
no, like
Oh.
eating your brother.
I
Is
know,
that worse
that's
than
rough.
eating a stranger?
No.
Oh no, I'd rather eat the stranger, dude.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not eating my brother.
See, it's even worse if you're eating your own insect.
I couldn't
it's
even
worse.
take you eating my brother. If I seen you eating my brother's fucking hand or finger, I'd be like, "You motherfucker, put that back down."
Put it like a dog. No, drop
Put it down.
Drop that shit.
Smack him
no.
on the nose.
No.
Now you could use
take
that
from
finger
salad.
as a bait to stick in the water.
Catch
I
a
don't mind that.
fish.
Catch a fish, then you give me back that finger.
Yeah, and half the fish. Son of a bitch.
So we wanted to talk about some ghost stories today. Ghost stories themselves, though, they've existed since recorded history. There's Egyptian ghost stories that were written in hieroglyphics, basically, that talk about life after death, of the happenings of ghosts after they die, and Chinese. There's recordings of Chinese ghost stories and everything. Whenever I was going through my research, I found a bunch of ancient ones, but none of them really seemed that great to me. They didn't really translate to today's culture. But what I did find was several lists about the most creepiest ghost stories that you'll ever believe. And the one that really stuck out to me was the story behind the movie The Haunting, which I've never, or not The Haunting, The Conjuring.
yeah, I saw that. It was
You saw The
gnarly.
Conjuring?
Gnarly.
Oh, scared the shit out of me.
So that's
Very
apparently,
scary movie.
That's apparently based on a true story.
That's what
Quote,
scared
unquote.
me more when I seen that. Is that based on a true story? I'm fucked. I hate true story fucking scary
fucked.
stuff.
So what the story behind that is this family, the mother and father, Roger and Carolyn Perron, they bought the Arnold estate in Harrisville, Rhode Island in December of 1970. So there's a lot of history behind this old farmhouse. It's all the way from, let's see when it was built, 1736. So it predates the country itself by 40 years. Way old. I'm reading this information from a website called paranormalscholar.com. And I'll just read it off the website because they can do way better than my retelling of what I've read from there. So it says, when the Perron family moved into the Arnold estate of Harrisville, Rhode Island in December of 1970, they were given just one piece of advice by the previous occupants. For the sake of your family, leave the lights on at night.
Is that a scary voice or is that Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because I couldn't tell.
It was
Here, how was that again?
for the sake of your family.
Okay.
For the sake of your family,
There you go. Fuck yeah.
Leave the lights on at night.
leave the lights on at night.
That's pretty good, man.
No shit.
So the move to the 10-bedroom house had been motivated by Roger and Carolyn Perron's desire to lead a quiet life in the country with their 5 daughters. Their new home had been built in 1736 and sat on 200 acres of land. That's a shit ton of land. So certainly it seemed more than suited to the task. However, quiet life was far from what they would have over the next few years. The haunting began almost immediately. At first, the spirits were largely friendly towards the Perrons. The children, the 5 sisters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April, were the main focus of the friendly apparitions' attentions. They would, in fact, grow very fond of the 2 spirits. One of the entities was claimed to be the benevolent ghost of Mrs. Arnold, who was reported to have tucked the girls in at night and would kiss them on the forehead. The other was Johnny Arnold, the boy who was said to have hung himself in the attic of the secluded farmhouse in the mid-18th century. So fond of the boy spirit were the girls that they lovingly nicknamed him Manny. He was said to play with their toys and watch the sisters as they played outside. So that's an interesting thing. They've got first the original family haunting the house, that they were friendly. The mom, the original Arnold mom, took care of the children, and the son played with the daughters enough where they named him.
And how many people died there?
Well, they told the story of just the 2 that died there so far.
Okay.
So, going on, the family in general especially welcomed what they called the sweeping ghost. This spirit's presence would only ever be heard from a distance, the sound of a broom shuffling against the floor. Whenever the family would go to investigate, they would find the broom leaning against the wall with a neat pile of dirt next to it. This is one of the least likely things I thought about the story. It's like, okay, now this sounds like something you just make up and add flavor.
I don't know. That sounds to me like maybe they heard some mice running across the floor.
Could have been
A
anything.
broom sweeping, that's not a really distinctive sound.
And I wouldn't really mind the sumbitch sweeping my kitchen sometimes if you wanted to do that, because my wife has me do all sorts of
If
crazy
that's the worst thing the ghost got doing, then go
Sweep
for it.
away.
Yeah.
Sweep away.
No shit.
It goes on to say, however, as time went by, it became apparent that not all the spirits on the estate were friendly. Most mornings at 5:15, spirits who smelled of rotting flesh would visit the sleeping family to lift up their beds, tossing aside whoever were in them. The Perrons also claimed that they to have encountered demonic forces at the farmhouse who would pull on the girls' hair and limbs during the night. Banging doors and disembodied cries were also a regular occurrence. One night, the family supposedly heard a voice that told of 7 dead soldiers buried within the walls of their home. Man, that's messed up.
And this is that house?
Yeah, from
Same
the
house.
movie.
Is that house still up?
Yeah, there's pictures of it. The lady lives there, really asked that nobody come and visit, because she has shit tons of people who've seen the movie The Conjuring and keep trying to come see the Arnold house.
And she doesn't want anyone in?
No, she actually let the show Ghost Hunters come in like 2004, 2005.
How'd that go?
They had a door banged shut, and there were some other noises, which surprised the lady who owns it now, but basically that's it.
Wait a minute. Surprised?
Because she hadn't actually herself seen anything.
Anytime
name's
you move
Norma
into
or
any
something.
house from the 1700s, there's some shit in there.
Right.
That's why I want these guys to build me a house now. I don't want to go into, hey, well, honey, I just found this a 1920 house. And it's like, no.
Yeah, 17 people have died in that house.
I got it at a good price.
I don't
You
know.
know there's
If you
been-
start hearing slamming doors and creeping noise and shit like that, that would be terrifying. But I've just never
gets worse, though.
experienced that before.
No, I hear
Oh,
you.
I have.
You've had some spooky shit happen?
Well, I'll tell you what, when
Okay.
this show
Right.
gets going, man,
man.
this
See-
is what got me in today.
Right. All
This
right.
is what got me in when he
Oh.
mentioned that.
Well, after Everett's done, we'll do the Ocho and Everett stories because those are pretty good.
Sure. However horrible these occurrences were, there was one entity that made the rest pale in comparison. These events were supposedly so terrible that Andrea Perrin, now a grown woman, still refuses to talk about it in detail. Her only comment about this malevolent entity was this: let's just say there was a very bad male spirit in the home with 5 little girls. So that sounds horrible, like the spirit raped them as they were kids? Is that what she's getting at?
Succubus, incubus, that sort
One
of
of those
thing.
two, incubus maybe?
That type of thing.
I'm kind of caught up in the story.
Yeah. So aside from these spirits, there was one which is now infamous, brought into the popular sphere by the horror film The Conjuring. So there we go. There's the tie-in. Her name was Bathsheba. Much of Andrea Perrin's adult autobiographical account is dedicated to this spirit. Bathsheba Thaler was born in Rhode Island in 1812. In her early 30s, she married Judson Sherman and gave birth to at least one known son, Herman. Bathsheba and Judson are believed to have had 3 other children, with all dying at a very young age. So there's a couple more, spirits in the house. Can a spirit of a baby be benevolent? Like if you don't learn language, can you be anything more than just an emotional spirit?
So you're talking about can a baby spirit be a evil ghost? Is that what you're asking?
Sure. If it's innocent, how could it have ever got evil?
Because whenever it died, it was
Don't you know the
pissed.
Bible says you're born into original sin? I'm just saying, you're not born
So until you get
innocent.
baptized?
No, like
Bing,
if
bang,
you,
boom,
if-
baby.
Especially if there's dark magic involved. If this baby dies anywhere near an ancient Indian burial ground, it might just come as an evil, rotted corpse baby ghost.
You're nuts.
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
why is that ancient India? I mean,
Well, it don't have to be. That was just an example.
You've seen Pet Sematary
It could
about
be a voodoo
1,200
witch
too many times,
doctor.
haven't you?
no kidding.
All right, let's go on here. From what can be gathered from public records, Bathsheba and Judson lived out their days at the old Arnold estate, both dying in the 1880s. Their son Herbert outlived them, dying in 1903. During Bathsheba's lifetime, there was one incident which marked the familial home out as a place of darkness, and it involved the death of an infant and the accusation of murder caused by an incision at the back of the head. The infant had been in the care of Bathsheba at the time, and her neighbors were very quick to accuse her of being a witch. Sadly, such an accusation was all too common a fate for any woman who was in any way associated with tragedy and attracted jealousy. After all, Bathsheba had much to make her neighbors envy. She was beautiful and had a husband who provided for her and a young boy on a private estate. So
It sounds like she was a witch, and they got the witch, and now the baby is evil dark witch baby.
Evil dark witch baby.
Well, it died with an incision to the back of the head, so
Well,
obviously somebody
see,
murdered that baby.
in
And
other
if-
versions of the story, I'd heard she had shoved a needle into the baby's brain in the back of the head.
well, either way, that's
some dark shit.
She
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
was doing some black magic, like we all do, and she had to sacrifice the
Like
baby.
we all do. Fuck, man.
I don't know. Can you? That's hard to prove. A witch. Hey, you're a witch. You know what?
No,
Is this-
man. Back in the Salem witch
What
trials, it
year was this?
easy to prove.
1860s or so? You said.
When they died in the 1880s.
Can I say this, though? I don't really get into that aspect of the whole house or the past or anything like that. More as I get into someone moving into that house and experiencing all this shit. I know you're covering the background. They could have had like
Once we
a
get to
mass
what's the
slaughterhouse
parents,
in there. I couldn't give a rat's ass. I look at it. The guys that walk in, honey, I'm gonna go get the stuff out of the station wagon, and the woman's alone, and you hear like, "Get the fuck out of here right now." That's the type of shit that I want to know about.
Oh,
A
geez.
ghost is only good if there's somebody to scare, huh?
Exactly.
But
a good point.
it's got to come from somewhere. You got to know where that ghost came
Oh,
from.
who cares? They're all the same.
Goddamn,
That's
pissed-
racist.
Pissed off after
That's
being
racist
That's
against
ghost.
ghosts. They all look alike to me.
No kidding.
All in their white sheets.
Ghost lives matter.
Yeah.
So at one point, Ed and Lorraine Warren. You guys ever heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren? They're
I have.
Yeah, they're huge in the ghost hunting world. They've had something like 20 movies made about things that they've investigated from. I don't know. I'd have to go through a whole bunch of them, but they've had 20-something movies. Amityville Horror itself had 17 movies made about it, and that was one of their things. So, Lorraine, who was a clairvoyant, said she immediately sensed a dark spirit living in the house. She pointed out a small circular incision on the back of Carolyn's leg, identifying it as Bathsheba's handiwork. So somehow she knew the calling card of Bathsheba.
Huh.
She stated
Sounds
that the
like
wound
bat shit
possessed the
bug.
same characteristics as the one found drilled into the infant's skull. and that Bathsheba had indeed been guilty of the horrific crime. So I guess she did her homework beforehand, came in and was like, here's what you've got in the house from history, and it seems to be correct.
Okay, bro, but what about that? I mean, the comments we're seeing right now. What about that tree, that infamous tree that scared the shit out of? I mean, there was a tree in that Conjuring.
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, you haven't seen the movie?
It was scary.
Was there
as
like
shit.
somebody hanging from the tree? That's the first thing.
Well, I don't want to give anything away.
No, go ahead. I mean, it'll probably be months before I watch it.
I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, it's almost like you have to see it. I can.
Right.
Eric, explain
But
it.
there was a
I don't
hanging
remember.
there.
Dude, scary movies. One time when I was little, I watched a scary movie. It was Friday the 13th, and ever since then, I am terrified. I won't watch them. I'm too big a pussy to
You
watch.
won't watch horror movies?
I can't watch them. No, they scare me too bad.
Well,
Get
you
all
haven't
jumpy and
even
shit.
seen a horror movie
No.
till you see The Exorcist.
Oh well, I've watched that. And
That's fucking.
What do you
crazy.
mean you watched that?
it wasn't bad.
That
It
was,
was
crazy
boring.
Scary. Oh no,
Boring.
Scary.
See, ever since I got
Scary.
older, I guess I realized, oh, well, that movie, Friday the 13th, was just fake. It don't matter. So now every single scary movie I see is never scary.
Maybe that's how you cope with your irrational fear to scary movies, just by telling you that they don't matter. And they're not real.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you're a non-believer.
That's one thing I wanted to talk about too.
Unbeliever.
For
Yeah.
Halloween, let's talk about fear. Halloween is a weird holiday. For most of our lives, we spend ourselves trying to not to get scared. Nobody likes somebody jumping out from behind the door and scaring them, or
Watching a scary movie and getting scared.
almost getting in a car accident, or actually getting in a car accident.
Right.
Until Halloween comes around, and then it's celebrated.
Right.
Well, I guess you can think of stuff like roller coasters. You pay to get yourself scared then. So what's the difference of fear on a recreational level versus a mortal level? I mean, when does fear stop being fun and become dangerous or become scary? Become real fear.
What do you mean, like thrill seekers, like adrenaline junkies?
That's fear, but that's not fear. When does fear become like Halloween fear? You know what I mean?
I'm kind of taking what you're saying as in why does the mind accept this fear and is saying that it's okay to be scared?
'Cause I think,
but
like,
rest of the time it's like, no, fuck you. We don't want to be scared.
I think it's whenever it's actual mortal danger. Like, in a roller coaster, for the most part, you're 100% safe. Granted, accidents happen.
Right.
You jump out of an airplane to do skydiving. You have that fear, but it's not the same fear as if your plane's going down and there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? The plane might level out, but it's, when you hit
The only
that air
difference
pocket,
is it's controlled fear, and you know that it's controlled fear.
I guess that's what it is. But
Haunted
some
house,
people
you go
like
in, you
that.
know it's controlled. You ain't really gonna get stabbed.
Any of you guys do anything for fear? Like, do you like that feeling of like out of controlness?
The only thing, I'll start this off, the only thing that freaks me out is on YouTube, and you see these like European kids or Russian kids or something, and they're on the very top of the building in Dubai or something, and they're just casually walking like they're walking in the street, and you're like, dude, don't look down. Don't look down. I mean, it's unbelievable. The fear factor is completely out of them. And I would just be embracing a bar, something that I couldn't move.
Right.
So let's think about it then. Fear in the realm of ghosts. Whatever, it's a completely, again, different type of fear. It's not the fear of I'm going to fall. It's not the fear that someone's going to
It's
do
not
me
physical,
injury.
is it?
It is a little bit. I mean, think about, okay, so we've all, when we were kids, I'm sure, remember that feeling, laying in bed at night and you hear something.
Well, you know what? That's my thing.
That's the real fear, because, again, you have no idea what's there, so it's a feeling of uncertainty. Even if you did know it's there, you don't know that you can handle what's coming at you. I mean, that's a crazy fear. It's the real fear of not knowing what's going to happen to you, I think, that's real fear. Mm-hmm. The unknown.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
No,
I'm not scared of anything, so
I'm down with it.
You're not scared of anything?
No, I'm just saying. I was not.
Whenever I would hear that noise, if you will, in the middle of the night when I was small, is problem solved. Blanket goes over the head.
Every time.
You're done. You
That's
fall asleep.
perfect formula. Yeah.
Did you guys
Fall
ever hold
asleep.
your breaths?
Oh,
Just so whatever is there might not hear you?
Oh, you did. They were
No.
hearing your breath at that.
You never know, man.
Oh, well, I had been playing hide and seek and like hiding from my brother and sister and do that. But I wasn't really scared.
Or hold your breath so you can hear every possible little detail of what's going on around you. You never did that?
I got trapped underwater
real fear,
one
man.
time and I almost died, and that scared the hell out of me. That's
would scare you.
a deep fear, but that's a totally different kind of creepy fear.
Right.
You know what I memean?
Well, if you want to get to our stories, man, because I tell you what, my story kind of goes with what you were just saying.
Well,
Oh, yeah?
I was kind of going somewhere about it though. The fear of death, I think, is what really has inspired all ghost stories. With the fear of death, nobody wants to die, and you want to believe that there's an afterlife. So whenever you think that there's a whole other plane of existence, of course there can be bad stuff coming out of that plane of existence and bad stories of life after death coming back to haunt people who are living. So I don't know. I always thought that's where it's from. But let's go ahead and start your story. I know you got a good one about something in Collinsville.
Well, no, that was that. No,
No.
that's not the one.
Well, hit me up.
All right, this when we moved to this country from Beirut, Lebanon, when I was like a little kid, we went to New York. It was the town was called Binghamton, New York, and I still remember the road or the street, 34 Thorpe Street. That's where Dad seen a house, and he was there morning till night with his buddy, and they would just fix this house up. And we were staying at our aunt and uncle's house, and they would be there every day. Finally, after a year,
This place.
that's Jesus Christ, that's very close to it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found it on Google Street View.
How did you find that?
I just typed that address you said into Google.
It's been remodeled, maybe?
Anyway.
I'm telling you right now, though, they put another house on top of it, but I remember.
They built a second story or something?
No. Well, it's getting creepier because 34 Thorpe Street went completely down. It got completely burnt,
Oh.
and that was in the future. But future by us leaving that place.
I got you.
Yeah,
So it happened
so-
after you guys left.
Yeah. So anyway, parents bought the house. We moved in, and I tell you, it was like the coziest thing. Upstairs. You'd hear squeaking and stuff, but there was an attic. There was an attic to this 34 Thorpe Street that I casually just walked up there one time, and I tell you what, I felt something. Behind me, just it felt really leery. I mean, it felt like I had to get the fuck out of there.
When you say attic, I picture like a pull string where the ladder folds down, kind of.
This is like stairs going straight up, and they were stairs up there. So people lived in the attic in the East Coast a lot too.
Okay.
Anyway, one particular night, I'll fucking never forget this, man. And it was my sister sleeping on one side of the room, and I'm sleeping on the other, and we heard a door knock like that, 3 big knocks on our door, and I'm like, "What? Did you hear anything?" And she goes, "No, I didn't hear anything." So she kind of blew it off. I knew there was something there. Then the second time around, knock. I mean, this is us little kids. Our parents would just walk in the door. Why is something knocking on my door? I said, "Did you hear that?" And she goes, "I heard that." I went to the door, opened the door, nothing. I went back to bed, turned the lights off, and this is when it got fucked up. Because about an hour later, there's a fucking skinny, frail-looking, shadowed body hanging in front of me. Just hanging. It was like a dead guy just hanging there.
Was it partially translucent? Could you see through it, kind of, or was it?
It was all dark shadow. It was dark shadow of this, and yeah, you got lights coming in from the room from the light streets and all that. And when they hit, this fucking shadow that I never, to this very day, I don't know what it was. And I ran to the light, turned the light on, and I told my sister there was a dead person in front of me, and she never believed me. And years went on, and then one time I'm sitting at the stairs. We had the whole wire thing back then. You know, landlines weren't like you just pick up the top part and walk around with it.
Right.
We had that whole box thing to where the phone goes on. So anyway, I'm sitting on the stairs.
Corded.
What's that?
They had cords.
Yeah, the cords. Yeah, I'm sitting on the stairs of this house, coming down, and the big hallways upstairs. Upstairs is my bedroom, and then on the side of that is the attic. The attic leads up and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and the ball rolls down the fucking stairs. The ball just rolls down the stairs, and I'm like, where did that come from? No, something had to push this ball. It's like one of those rubber basketballs, and it's like that just didn't come out and start rolling down. Anyway, someone might say the wind picked it up or house shifts or something. Maybe they can say that too. But years went by, and we came to Granite City. We sold the house, and I asked my parents. I go, I was always scared shitless, and you guys know that too. And they go, yeah, we knew there was something in there. And I go, all the times I ran to your room to say I'm scared, and you guys wouldn't believe me. You never believed me with the guy hanging in my. I said, who was in the house before us? And it was an old man that hung himself in the attic.
No way.
Yeah, 34 Thorpe Street, Binghamton, New York. And that was one of my freakier.
Right.
Fucking stories, you know?
I can imagine. I know I've seen weird shaped shadows before, and if they startled me, like when I was saying, I'd just hide when I was younger, but I would never get up and investigate them or anything because I just
Dude, I had to turn this light on. It wouldn't go away. I did
Right.
exactly what you two said, except hold my breath. I had never heard that one. But
That's just fear when you're so scared you just.
yeah, or you can't say something is what yeah. Well,
or maybe you hear it breathing even, or I don't know. It's kind of creepy.
after a while, though, you run to the light, you turn the light on, you're scared out of your mind. To this very day, I sleep with the light on now. I sleep with
Right.
Nightlight.
lights like this. I don't, it's not nightlight because I probably can't handle that either, but it's kind of like a light in that corner to where I can see something all around this room.
Right. TV on for me for sure.
No,
Gotta have TV on.
I can't have any
You
light
sleep with the TV on because
whatsoever.
you're scared of the dark?
I'm not saying why I sleep with my TV on. I'm just saying I sleep with my TV
So that's
on.
why?
Why are you making assumptions?
No, for me, I got to have it completely dark because I don't want to see if there's something there. I don't want to see
really?
it.
It could be
just
right
keep the
breathing
light-
in your
all the-
face.
It
and
could
then
be
the lights
fucking
come on.
right above your head.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would scare the shit out of me.
As
more.
long as I stay asleep and don't get out of bed, I'm fine. That's all I know.
You should see the poor ghost trying to fuck him up.
Oh man.
Motherfucker won't move.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
probably
right
Too
here.
dark.
he's got to get me out of the house so he can go to heaven or whatever. But I just won't even look at it. It can't scare me at all.
Go to the light. Go to the light.
Keep
Leave a
haunting
lamp
another
on.
guy.
Leave a lamp on next to the bed so they kind of get veered over.
Yeah, that was one.
I was talking about that story you had told me on your show about driving.
About that, but that wasn't Collinsville. That was
No,
Belleville.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, when you said
talking
Collinsville, there's a place out in Belleville.
You're falling asleep at the wheel.
Oh yeah, that was.
a gnarly one.
I swear on my dead parents on this that it's the weirdest shit that I was in college. I'm driving home. I don't have. Back then, I had one of those Pintos, and fuck, I couldn't pick up anything on the radio. Nothing. Everything was staticky. The only thing that you'd hear was, Jesus Christ is going to save you, but you gotta
those
let
AM religious stations.
Yeah, you got to get rid of Judas Priest. And I said, well, fuck you too. So I turned that, and then it's all staticky, and nothing's on. And, dude, it's on like that, half dead. I got a shit radio anyway. It's not one of those newer
Digital or whatever.
nothing like that. So, any case, I'm driving. I'm falling fucking asleep on Highway 51. Highway 51, there's one lane going one way and the one lane coming that way, and that's it. There's no 2-3 lanes. In any case, I fucking fall asleep. I fall asleep, and out of the clear fucking blue, as crystal clear as the band is in my car, the doors pop up, Jimmy Morrison singing, "Keep your eyes on the road, your hands upon the wheel." That is the freakiest fucking thing. And I've told my family, I told my friends, and my friends say, well, hey, dude, you got Jimmy Morrison as your angel watching you. But I just think that something, some entity, some spirit was protecting me, and I know that it was their way of saying, get up and fucking watch the road, idiot, or you're going to fucking hit something or kill someone.
Higher power, maybe?
Higher power for sure.
Some force intervened to put that, even that lyric of that song on, right?
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing behind that.
I mean, that or it's the craziest coincidence in coincidence history.
Ever. Yeah,
It
but
can't.
yeah,
I'll never buy into that coincidence. This was pure.
Every fiber of my
Intervention.
being wants
Ever
to
is-
say.
Do you hear him? He's such a cocksucker.
No, just
Your
let me talk.
experience.
Let me talk.
No, please, because I have wanted to try to figure this out 20 fucking years, that not having a fucking radio that worked, one, and two, the only thing I picked up was one station, and he's like, Judas Priest is going to kill you, son. So let's hear it. I'm up for it.
Pretty much with every fiber of my being, I want to not believe it and think that it's coincidence or that you were crazy. But on the off chance that that actually happened, it's guardian angel shit.
Right.
It's exactly what it is.
It has to be, yeah. I don't know any other story that would match what happened.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's it.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I totally believe that. But then from religious purposes, we're taught that, well, the only thing that comes down here and runs the whole fucking place is the devil and his boys.
Right.
We're just kicking back and, we'll pray, we'll make everything right for you. But the
God's got a
bad.
real Ivan Drago type of attitude, doesn't he? He's like, if he dies, he dies. He just lets
But
it
you're
go.
going to a good home, son. That's how he looks at it.
Yeah.
And, so, you don't really want that place anyway. You want to come here.
God, I got run through a wood chipper. What the fuck? I bet that hurt like hell, didn't it? You're here now, though.
Oh, you're here, son. You got a lot of grass that just stands up. You got your own wings. Look at that. I gave you a little extra wing side there, a little feathers more. I gave you a little bit more love. I knew you went through some shit with that wood chipper.
Yeah, no shit. I'll make you a higher rank angel. Don't worry, buddy.
And don't get mad at me. I had this Abe guy. I told him to kill his son. That's not great. Come on, take a joke, stupid. Get out of here. Wasting my time anyway. I got millions to look at.
Oh man, well, that was our incantation of
God. No, but Big E, you got to say that it was a little weird.
That's way weird. I mean, it's a crazy story without having been there and seen it. I mean, this.
Well,
I know I don't call myself a skeptical, but I have to go coincidence. But I believe that you believe it, and I believe that there's a chance that it happened exactly how you said it.
If you believe it.
I tell you what, man, that was, to me, that was a changing point in my life to where I started then thinking, you know what?
You want to know why I believe that it's completely possible? It's because the story I've told 100 times on this show, and I'll probably tell it again today.
Yeah. Wait. Then just hang on. Everett's story is why he believes it's plausible.
Right.
And I'm with it. When you told me the other day on your show, I was like, holy shit, man.
Well,
that's cool.
Well, I'm not done. I got one more that's fucking out there, and I want you guys' opinion on this. When we were in Lebanon, my mom has a best friend. Everyone lives in an apartment there. No one lives in little houses next door to each other. They're in an apartment, and my mom gets coffee. They drink coffee up and down, the gals do. And one gal tells my mom, I had a bad dream last night that my son's plane hit the mountains over Syria. And she says, why do you what do you care? Your son's not going anywhere. Actually, he's going to India. He just became a doctor. He graduated from American University, and they want him at India, and they want him on this plane. That was like in a week span, and she's had that dream twice now, reoccurring.
Sounds like anxiety.
My mom said this to her: if you feel that bad about this, and Armenians are really superstitious, don't wake him up in that morning that he's got to get on this plane. She goes, that's a great idea. She said, He'll get on a different plane, and everything will be all right, right? And she goes, yeah, because I remember seeing the numbers on this plane too. And my mom goes, forget about it. Don't wake him up. Let him go to sleep. Sleep through it. That fucking day, when he's supposed to be at the airport at 5 a.m., 6:55 or something like that, this plane fucking hits the mountains over Turkey, around that area, going to fucking India or whatever. And she's like, I saved my son.
She knew she had a premonition.
That's pretty crazy.
Story's not over.
No.
Because she goes to wake the kid up and the kid's dead.
What?
Oh, what?
The kid's dead.
That was like an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Wait,
right
the
there.
kid,
He's still in bed.
This
Wait a
guy
minute.
died in his sleep. And it was like mom's way of protecting her son, but there was no way that boy was going to escape death.
That's Final Destination.
Is this
man.
Final
I
Destination?
saw this movie, I think.
Well, if you
I don't
do.
know. If that is true, that's terrible.
That's
terrible
crazy.
coincidence. But that is a movie called Final Destination. And
I don't think it was anything like that.
That's nuts. though.
It's almost like you described the plot of
That's
the
like
whole
Well,
movie.
I mean-
exactly.
That movie to me is stupid.
Death's
Be
gonna
be
get-
honest with you, every
gonna
little
get you.
thing like this cable suddenly gets up and starts wrapping around my neck.
That's outrageous.
Yeah,
You're
it
right.
got really stupid there.
I don't know.
My favorite death in all of those Final Destination movies, that dude was sitting at the drive-thru and there's like a hill behind him up here, and he's like, the drive-thru's on the side of the street, and he's like in a convertible, and there's a truck right here. Like this fucking big truck comes barreling down the hill, no brakes are out, hits this, punches the motor out of the front of that, and then runs it right into the back of the guy, and the thing
Yeah,
chops his
yeah,
head. I was
I've seen
like,
shit.
no
I don't know.
shit.
But like you were saying, if she really had those premonitions, I know, like, I felt something strange, like it was protecting me before. This just happened recently when I wrecked my motorcycle. I didn't have a helmet on. Well, I went swerving, flipped sideways, and I skid along the curve, or the concrete, and rammed into the curb. But then right on the other side was a big mud puddle, and that's where my head was stuck, right in that mud puddle, maybe half an inch, 2 inches at most from the curb. And it just covered my head in mud, but I broke my arm, my ribs, and everything else. And the lady there couldn't believe I wasn't passed out or bleeding from the hedge, because she was worried it was all covered in mud, but I didn't get hurt at all on my head. There's just no way that could be so random to save my life.
Well,
like that.
yeah,
It's pretty nuts.
I
Do
remember
you
that.
you guys are brothers. You guys are tight brothers.
I guess so.
If has there been ever a point to where one of you felt something for the brother that said, hey, something's going to happen to him on this or that? Because you've seen it on twins. Twins, like one twin will
I was thinking
feel
the Corsican
pain.
Brothers from Cheech and Chong.
Corsican Brothers. That was a great movie.
Yeah, that
Did you
was.
see that? Did you see that, Alex?
I don't think so, no.
It's good.
That's fine.
Like I could slap Everett and I'd feel it. Oh shit! Or
Yeah.
he could punch me and it.
No, I've never had that of you. I've never felt.
No, I would say if anything, Everett doesn't get in any trouble or anything, so no one really has to worry about him. If anyone
careful.
would probably.
Not that I
it'd
do
be
anything
him trying to
illegal.
no, but we can like the finish each other's sentences thing. That happens. That's totally a thing.
Well, I mean, we grew up. We shared a room our entire childhoods, more or less, till we were like teenagers. I mean, we spent hours every night talking after we were supposed to be in bed. We think alike, so I mean. That's
Okay,
gonna
but
happen.
I'm saying like those twins that one burns the arm clear across in San Francisco, and the other person in Boston feels that
You got a lighter?
feels that.
Fuck off.
I think.
We'll
Must
burn
have
Eric
burned
and see if I feel it.
How'd I know that was coming?
I don't know, but you
The
always
first thing that popped in my head is I'll burn myself and see if you feel it. But then I was like,
Why the fuck you want to burn my
I'll
yourself?
burn him, see if I feel it.
I've seen several reports of that same thing, though, that different cousins or twins would know something terrible just happened. I don't know why,
Yeah.
so I just called. And then they
Again-
have evidence. They actually called within the 5 minutes or whatever. That
At
the
first,
incident
you want to
happened.
think that's bullshit.
Luke and Leia, man.
But well, then look at like in physics, quantum physics, they have that thing called quantum entanglement or spooky action at a distance.
Yeah,
which
spooky
is
action
how,
at a distance.
How a subatomic particle can be directly linked through some unknown process, or I'm sure some great physicist knows how it works. But you affect one particle, and no matter how far away, the other particle gets the same effect on it. So if that can happen in physics at such a small level, who's to say there isn't some sort of other way to the shit gets linked? You know what I mean? Links can happen.
So you're not calling it supernatural?
Well, I mean,
I think that
think about magic then. If you think of magic as just science that we haven't figured out yet,
There's a quote in there somewhere.
Yeah. What is it? To any advanced species.
No.
I think it was a Star Trek quote, something like that.
No, it wasn't
To any non-advanced species, advanced tech looks like magic.
Somebody in the chat's going to give it to us here in a second, but I think it was like it's indistinguishable. Any advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Any like new great giant leap in technology.
Yeah, if a guy came here and had something like this and pressed a button and made a fucking sandwich appear, that's going to seem like magic to me. But to them, it's probably science.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, there's something to it.
So you think that there's some invisible force
there could be
detected, like the force from Star Wars?
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Let's get into it.
No,
well,
just akin to. Not
if there's
like
a force
that
that could bind particles at any distance that we figured out as a true scientific thing,
right?
Then there's plenty of shit that we possibly haven't figured out.
Oh, you know what? I just saw
that would be a greater power then. But you could
Not
you could
necessarily.
theoretically
It could be
believe
nature,
in a greater power.
No,
but if
it's
something
ununderstood nature.
Just because we don't understand it makes it greater.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you could look at it that way.
It's Schrodinger's cat. Come on now.
You know what I just thought of? I just thought of if we were in Egyptian time, if we were us four, we've got
King Tut.
we can take back one thing, and the king would say, "You got your own section. We're gonna even build a pyramid after you." It's from the future, though. You're bringing something back from the future that's you could have generated left and right for this Egyptian king and the people. What would it be? And I mean that's to me. I thought of if the Egyptian king asked me, I'd fucking make ice. Because they're drinking fucking shit hot water every fucking day in Egypt. There's no such thing as ice cubes.
I'd probably give him a Twinkie.
You'd give a Twinkie?
Think about that. Think about that. They ain't never had no kind of processed sugar.
So you would keep making Twinkies?
Think about it, man. You can make Twinkies. They're used to eating rutabagas and shit. You know, real bad like Nile River food, crocodile.
Yeah,
meat.
you're right. That gets fucking yucky.
They ate papyrus.
No, well, why don't you just give them like a science textbook and teach them how to read it, and then they could actually learn.
Then you wouldn't be needed.
Advanced technology.
Fuck that. I want them to think that I'm a witch doctor.
Oh, well, see, I didn't know that was the aim. Okay.
3D printer.
Yeah, I mean, I think Twinkies could get you in a lot of trouble in another
So
time.
you would be the witch doctor that produced Twinkies. I can see it. I can see it.
I mean, why not?
Me, again, I'm going to
use my
stick to my
profits.
ice cubes. And you know what would really be good is
Big lighter.
Weatherman. Fuck, a weatherman would be
Yeah.
like, you are not just a
Yeah,
fucker. You're a god.
You're a god if you can predict
That
the
would be
weather
a
in
god.
ancient Egypt. No shit. That's
That will
awesome.
kill you for that. You know? If you're not the pharaoh, pharaoh's the only one allowed to be a living god. Okay,
Right. Well, you know
Well,
what?
that's how
I'll
you-
take second.
That's when you become pharaoh.
that's when you get like what was it on that mummy movie? The guy who played the mummy. What was the mummy?
Brendan Fraser.
No, the mummy, the bald bastard.
Nobody.
Not a Nox on the
Amatep.
moon. Yeah, Imhotep.
Imhotep, yeah.
Yeah, then you're more or less the wizard of the pharaoh
Don't
at
mind
that
if I
point.
do.
The Grand Vizier. Ooh, wasn't that for what they called the dude in Aladdin?
Yes, he was the Grand Vizier.
Is that right?
Jafar.
Yeah, that's
Latin, you mean Oculus Inferno?
it. All right, let me. Here's another story I found online. This is from Reddit. Tell me what you guys think if this is bullshit or not. My grandma lives in a very stereotypical horror movie house. Small Midwestern town, white and old-looking home on a farm. She even has a chipped wooden Mary Nativity in the front yard. She also has a cemetery about a half-mile down the road. I used to sleep in the room in the corner on the top floor, my aunt's room, and it had a wooden rocking chair in it. When I was younger, I would wake up and thought I heard it rocking, to the point where I would wake up my grandma and have to stay in her room. About 10 years later, my mom, aunt, and I were talking about how creepy my grandma's house was. My aunt goes on to talk about how when she was younger, the reason my mom and her ended up sharing a room was because she thought her room was haunted. She said she woke up one morning and the rocking chair was about 2 feet closer to the bed. And after that night, it would start rocking on a nightly basis at midnight.
Dude,
True,
fuck
false, bullshit? You think? It's got the it's not too outlandish to where I could, But then again, why would a ghost ever just move a chair and rock a chair?
that. Jay says he would take nerve gas. Sorry.
About what?
To Egypt.
Why?
Conquer.
Slaughter.
Oh, that's what he learned how to make his nerve gas.
Yeah, he can make nerve gas.
What's he hoping to do? Stop the Israelites from leaving?
Hey, you know what? I'm thinking ice cubes, Twinkies. Fucking weatherman. This motherfucker wanted to blow the whole
Yeah,
place.
he's thinking I'm going to start the
Nerve gas.
Holocaust before
I'm
they
gonna
get
start
back
a
to
little
Israel.
earlier.
No shit, they're not getting back to Israel on my watch.
Yeah, not on my watch.
Calm down,
damn
Jay.
it.
You guys want to talk about some horror movie shit too, or anything like that?
Why don't we do a part 2 so we can have a cigarette break?
You guys want to do a two-parter?
You guys
today?
want to do a 2-part? We'll do
Hell,
another hour.
I'm in,
after.
man.
We'll do 10 minutes.
I'm in
break
for a
and-
couple hours with you guys.
Let's do it. Let's do a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and do another hour.
All right, well, I guess that's the end of the first episode this week, folks. Visit our website, surrealtalkpodcast.com. Make sure you vote in the poll, Team Eric or Team Everett. It's an obvious Team Everett situation.
Not really.
Right now, we're tied again, 173,
Debatable.
173.
Debatable. Anyways.
Could I be the factoring
You
vote
could.
here?
You can.
You shouldn't
can.
vote, though. I mean, you shouldn't
vote.
If you could, go to iTunes, download iTunes, and leave a review
That always
of our
helps.
podcast. That's great. We're really getting up there in the numbers. Subscribe on TuneIn Radio if you're listening on there. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button or favorite or whatever they call it. And any kind of ways you can subscribe to us, YouTube, please do. That really helps us out. It gets us up higher in the rankings.
Check
More
out our
listeners
Facebook
equals more
page.
cool stuff.
We have a Patreon account if you'd like to be
Yep,
a.
Surreal Talk, actually, patreon.com/Surreal Talk. It's kind of like a voluntary subscription service. If you want to give us $1 a month, $2 a month, $1 million a month, feel free. Right now, there's no rewards on our Patreon, but we've got a couple things we're thinking about doing in the future.
The guy that made Facebook just gave us like $2.5 million a month. He pledged because he likes.
Oh, Zuckerberg?
Yeah, I just made that up though. So.
Oh, that'd have been cool. That'd have been real cool. All right, everybody. We'll catch you in 10 minutes. Podcasters, just download the next episode and listen to it now. Catch you later.
Bye.
Wow, not bad.
Oh, very good.
I like this show.
I was having fun. Hey, how long are we on there?
That was.
a 52-minute episode.
Really?
We're still online. We're online. Hey, stream. We'll see you in a few.
We'll see you in a few, stream. Yeah, see you in a few, stream.